It's a quality that every one of us must imbibe. And I've always said, is someone's phone ringing? And I always say, if you cannot have empathy, what then do you have? Unfortunately for us in this country, empathy has become something that is extremely expensive. People don't feel it. Something has happened. Oh, now them. You know the phrase I hate most in Nigeria is when I hear people say, I never thought Nigeria would happen to me. It shows one thing, lack of empathy. Because when it happened to another person, you should take it as that's something that has happened to you. And you will stand and speak up and be there and not just wait until it happens to you before you put up your mouth and say something. And as a leader, if you don't have empathy, you have nothing. Because it is through empathy that you will feel the pains of others and you will want to lift them. It's not enough that you can buy solar, gen, everything and have 24/7 electricity. As long as your neighbor does not have 24/7 electricity, we all don't have 24/7 electricity. As long as your neighbor cannot feed, we all cannot feed. As long as there are children outside who cannot attend schools, all our children are not in schools. And one of the greatest injustices in this country is that access to good quality education is dependent on the economic status of one's family. If you're rich, if your parents are rich, you will have good quality education. If your parents are not rich, you will not have good quality education. No matter how brilliant you are. I have a sister who teaches in, government school. I'm not going to mention the name of the state. And every day she cries. You find children who are students, rather, they are not students, who are in SS, SS1, SS2. They cannot read simple sentence. She has had to, sometimes she starts from the beginning. She leaves the curriculum and she takes them from the beginning. How do you do that to citizens? Primary and secondary education is for the benefit of the nation. That is why you must provide free, good quality primary and secondary education. Because when a nation is educated, then the country can have development. Even the politics, I always say that democracy without education is a disaster. Because a professor of politics or of law will vote. And someone who has never been to school, has never been given opportunity, will cancel that vote. And that's why we are here. We have reached a place where deliberately the educational system was sabotaged so that some people can continue to rule, not lead. That's not a quality of a leader. Quality of a leader would mean that everybody will be given opportunity for them to try, give them enabling opportunity. Today we pay the price. When we've sent our children abroad, they've gone to Ivy League schools, they've gone to the best of schools. Guess what? Then we come back here. Those children who were not given opportunity to be in school will not allow them to live peacefully in their own country. And that's why today, our children are roaming all over the world looking for places they can get citizenship. We have deliberately made our children stateless. That's what we did. Because we do not realize that in denying that education to others, we also denied ourselves and our children. And there's something I would like to say to every one of us here. That the education that we have is not for us alone. It's also for millions of others who didn't have the opportunity to be educated. So when you have an opportunity to be a voice, be one. When you have an opportunity to lead, lead very well. Because there are so many people who are dependent on you to be there for them. Another leadership quality, confidence, It's very important. If you have to lead people, you have to ensure that you yourself, you're showing confidence, and you're standing, and you're also a rugged fighter, and you're not giving up. And we've seen examples from our leaders, His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi, and also His Excellency Madam Obi Kwankoso. We've seen them, they are dogged. And I must say to you, sir, Madam Buba Galadima, thank you for always being there. Thank you for being a voice. Thank you for speaking. Sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes you look as if you're mad when you're speaking. But have those voices. And sometimes, yeah, we all make mistakes. And sometimes, yeah, people wouldn't understand what we are saying. But steadfastness is very important. Have that confidence to stay on and not just move on just like that. Sometimes when everybody is going one way, it takes courage to go the other way. And one of the qualities that you must imbibe as a leader is that of a courage, because sometimes you'll be called upon to decide and whether you stand for something or you fall for nothing. And that's where courage comes in. Because if you're not courageous for your people, then you will not be able to do anything. And you will be someone who will be buffered by the wind all over the place. So courage is very important. Inspiration. Are you inspiring? Are you someone who would inspire the people? Are you someone that when people see you, they know that they can not only have trust in you, but they can align to be like you? And then Jim Rohn said something, that if you want to set a goal, you should set a big enough goal so that in the process of achieving that goal, you become somebody worth becoming. So ask yourself, are you inspiring? Are you even inspiring yourself? Are you inspiring the next generation? Did they look at you and they want to just be you or be greater than you or achieve those things that you have done? I have always said to leaders, and I'm going to say to every one of us here, that if after 100 years they do not remember what you did in office, they do not remember how you stood for Nigeria, they do not remember how you fought, then will your time in office really be? Are we still in morning or is it afternoon? Good. Okay, good afternoon, morning. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I don't know whether there was any protocol that was established, but since I'm entering the political space, I think I need to start recognizing those protocols, right? Yeah. So let me stand on existing protocols. Even if they say it's a Nigerian English, it's not something, that's universally accepted. But just to say to everyone, I've been given a topic that I really don't know why they gave me that topic. Maybe there's a reason by the time I'm through with it. They said I should talk about leadership quality and also loyalty. Let me start with quality. We always hear about the 3 C's: competence, character, and what? At the end of the day, one of the things that we all here have to ask ourselves, and I'm glad, Professor Amadi, don't we call him Dr. Amadi? That's the one you prefer, right? Bruce, has, talked about some of them in terms of the fact, how do we look at ourselves? And what do we see? It is one thing to have an opportunity to run for office. It's also another thing to be prepared to run for office. We must be better than the people that we want to change or remove or whatever the term is. At every time, it's not just about the passion. It's also about what is it that you're bringing to the table for this country, that at the end of the day, the country will be better off just because you were there. I always say that I hold myself to higher standards than I hold anybody. If I'm going to hold you to 10%, I'm going to do 100. And if I'm holding you to 100%, if I'm not doing 1,000%, then it's not worth it. And I think every one of us, those are the questions we must ask ourselves. There are moments in someone's life that you sit down, not in the outside, not where anybody is, but you're alone with yourself, and you say to yourself, am I able? One of the things that I see a lot of us miss is how to be people-centric. Service. And I'm glad the slogan of our party is what? Service. If you're not serving the people, what are you doing? Service is not about being performative. It is about you alone with that man who is a security man, and you're going past and you're treating him like a human being. That's you serving that person. It's not about you lording it over. Oh, I occupy this place. Oh, I'm this rich. Do you know who I am? No, I don't know who you are. Did your parents tell you who you are? Do you know this or do you know that? No. When people see you, what do they take away? How do you make them feel? That's what service is all about. And if you've not imbibed that particular quality, then I think it's important for that to be the beginning of how you say to yourself, how do I serve? And I will come to loyalty. I see a lot of people who have this respect to office, respect to position, respect to authority, but they never respect people who are lower than them. I always say to people, you see that gate man, or whatever, security personnel, or whatever it is, I will tell him good morning, sir, a million times. The one that is sitting at the top and feeling this thing, probably wouldn't. If you're going to fight somebody, I'll tell people, I don't fight anybody below me. I'll fight you, you take up. That one that you see as untouchable. But you see what a lot of us do, a lot of people do, they oppress. The same person that will not have the guts or the temerity to stand and talk to the people who are above there, we oppress the people below just because they have the power. That's not leadership quality. Empathy is a quality that every one of us must imbibe. And I've always said, is someone's phone ringing? And I always say, if you cannot have empathy, what then do you have? Unfortunately for us in this country, empathy has become something that is extremely expensive. People don't feel it. Something has happened. Oh, now them. You know the phrase I hate most in Nigeria is when I hear people say, I never thought Nigeria would happen to me. It shows one thing, lack of empathy. Because when it happened to another person, you should take it as that's something that has happened to you. And you will stand and speak up and be there and not just wait until it happens to you before you put up your mouth and say something. And as a leader, if you don't have empathy, you have nothing. Because it is through empathy that you will feel the pains of others and you will want to lift them. It's not enough that you can buy solar, gen, everything and have 24/7.